Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you who might be wondering what Drakenmemoria is, or why you're here, well, Drakenmemoria is Dungeons and Dragons, and more specifically, people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this isn't something you want to watch, well, there are a lot more channels right now that are open. So you can always go there. I'm sure there are some interestings. I do watch a few myself occasionally. Actually, it was more because I was curious about what was playing at the same time as me. But anyway, I know there are quite a few interesting people just chatting, if that's what you're into. But here it's Dungeons and Dragons. And for everyone else who know what this is, what we do, and you're back because you like it, because you find it interesting, you enjoy laughing at us, well, it's a pleasure to have you with us, even those laughing at us. So,
be a clown, everyone that you know loves a clown.
So take a seat. I hope you have something to drink, that you went to the bathroom, because we're not stopping, although you can just walk and go to your bathroom on your own. So, all right. Well, that's about it. As always, a little thank you to Kearney City Guilds, who lets us post on their page to try and get more people to watch. It's a Discord channel that you can find Dungeons & Dragon group, be part of a D&D group, find game to watch, and as always, somewhere between the first half hour and 45 minutes, we will most likely be joined by a chaotic calling. So, if you are wondering who they are, there's a link below to their Discord channel for Kearney City Guild and their Twitch channel for chaotic calling. That's about it. That's everything I have. You know, if you want something more, well, you should give more. Haha. I don't know. If you're interested in making us an introduction, a little song, I don't mind putting your name below. You know, it could be fun. But for now, you're gonna have to do with silence, because it's hard to find someone who's willing to give us music without having to pay or not charging us a lot. So enough rambling. Let's get started with today's game. Alright, so the past few episodes, the party entered the abandoned Gnomish Arcane Laboratory. They are on the mission to explore it because it is the first that they have found inside of the island on which they are currently venturing. And of course, being the first abandoned laboratory found in the island chain, a lot of people are interested, especially those to whom our group is adventuring for, because they're very much interested in the lore of this world, learning more about what happened before and its history. So they're being sent there to do this for the garden, but also for a gnome who stayed at the entrance and is very interested in knowing what will be inside, because he is most likely part of a school somewhere and is hoping to find something very interesting inside. So the adventurers entered. They started to tackle the defenses of this laboratory. The first one being a very mathematical maze. The second one being an elemental puzzle. Now they have went through... Well, first they encountered another room that they haven't solved yet. So that's why they went back inside and tried to find clues. They went through a exhibition hall where they fought animated armors and weapons. And then they found themselves inside of a small research room where they encountered a mimic posing as a writing desk. Remy almost got his hand ripped off. Jorg almost got one hand melted away. But they managed to get out of this alive. Slightly traumatized, but still well. And now they have just, or at least they believe, they have just found the answer to this last puzzle that they had. Through experimenting with a weird machine that was placed on a wall, which helped them figure out which school opposed one another. But fortunately, because they had made such a thorough job at investigating the room, they also had other confirmation of how this puzzle might work. And so this is where we left off. We left off with, if I remember, Fisher asking Remy to use detect magic, to have a better sense of what school of magic might be in 3 potions that they could not identify. So, Jorg, audience, Remy, and Fisher. I was gonna say, what are you doing? But technically, it's my turn to say something, because we left on me having to read the description of every potion to try and figure out which school should be a good one. So, Fisher and Remy, as you ask Remy what these potions are, Remy, I believe you still had Detect Magic on because you used it on the marbles of the machines. So, one of the potions that was handed to you by Fisher exert a mild enchantment aura. The second one, which looks mostly like some sort of oil inside of it, emits an alteration aura. The last one, the bottle that is completely opaque and sealed with a cork, but also with wax to make sure that the seal is complete, has a... Well, this one is the one that's a bit weird, because if you imagine looking at something by showering it with magic and seeing how it bounces off, you sort of see, okay, enchantment, alteration, and the water just slides off. The bottle is completely opaque, sealed with wax. The magic just doesn't take to it. It just slides on it.
Yeah, so Raimi is sure to given it's the only information he can give. Like he minor allusions the appropriate school symbol. Since everyone's looked at this wheel now, everyone else knows them too.
Yeah, and you've just associated what color with this, with the wheel, placing the marbles on it. Yeah, no, everyone is at least familiar with this.
But then the third one, he just kind of like throws up a question mark.
Like, is it not magical?
He shakes his head, and then you hear in a gruff voice, "Man, that girl was like a slip and slide, you know?"
I don't know. No idea what you're talking about.
I wonder what this could look like in a D&D world.
What is a slip and slide?
Talking about like a bottle of grease or something.
I want to know how Remy
Shrug.
finds out how to explain this. I have a few ideas, but I really want to know how Remy's gonna explain this.
I mean, if anybody feel like we're in a time crunch, because if not, if you don't mind, Remy, you might try identify.
I guess Raimi just looks to audience and Jorg.
Eh?
I mean, there's another mimic wandering about somewhere,
That is a good point. Maybe we should kill that first.
but I'm not sure how much
The
a
first
mimic...
one didn't cause too much trouble.
Raimi looks at the burning flesh of Jorg.
Yes. If it didn't
Yeah,
cause
you-
that much trouble, you can go ahead of me this time.
You okay, George? You need a rest for a bit?
Okay.
Or...
No, I'll just stay behind you guys. As long as
You want... Maybe you should, like, heal yourself or something.
I did. I don't want to waste too many spells. I guess I'm not a
are you-
waste of spells, though.
Not... Are you higher than 15? Like it says on Twitch.
No.
Below half means you visibly look quite injured, right?
Yes, below 50% means that there are visible signs of your injuries. So you most likely have at least second-degree burns from the acid on your arms.
Yeah, I guess I'll heal up a little more.
So most likely he's looking at you saying, "No, I'm right," and you see him wincing. "Oh, I'm right. Okay. You can take
As long as
it."
I don't do anything with my hand that causes the skin to move.
Yeah, don't... that...
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna heal myself a little more. This time... Oh, should I use a second level spell slot?
Up to you, dude.
Oh,
Self-preservation, my guy.
yeah, I'm gonna do it. Ooh, good 13 health.
Well, that's not bad. You know, it's enough to transform these second-degree burns into first-degree burns.
Yeah.
Speaking of healing, 2 of these are greater healing potions. So, who wants to carry those?
I don't need them. Yeah.
I mean, I've got 2 regular potions.
I can carry one. I'll take one.
I'll hand audience 1.
I have not checked in a while how many I'm actually already carrying. Give me a second.
And we also have this potion of radiance resistance. Which...
I'll take a normal healing potion if you want.
Do you not have one?
No.
Yeah, okay, here you go. I'll give you a regular potion of healing.
Oh, thank
And
you.
then I guess I'll just hold on to this greater one.
Okay, so Raimi's just holding on to one. I wasn't sure if I had more than one. But okay.
All right, so Remy, last time you had a little bit of trouble imagining what the layout of this dungeon is. Basically, if you take the resting room, the exhibition hall, and the research room, this would make sort of a triangle, with each one of the rooms being placed at each corner. But the distance between each room could be great enough for a room to be there, but if it's symmetrical, it's just a long hallway that leads from the upper part of this room to the resting room. And it should be caved in if you go in.
Maybe thinks on that, then remembers this is a gnome laboratory, and just looks toward the unexplored door.
And you know that there's a 50% chance that there's a mimic somewhere in that place.
I mean, if we're looking for a mimic, like, I mean, this does most of it's. I mean, we could just walk around poking stuff with swords as we keep going.
That sounds like a good idea.
Don't want to get jumped on like last time.
Then they enter a room with 200 goblets. Damn it!
All
That somehow didn't starve.
Yeah. I'll walk
And
up
then we
to
just
the.
start playing the what's Legend of Zelda minigame. We just spin in circles trying to break everything in the room.
Yeah. I'll walk up to the unopened doors and just like give a quick jab with my greatsword.
There's no blood pouring out of the door, so it looks genuine.
Then I'll open it.
Right. So you carefully reach out, you take it, you open it, and then there's a moment of truth. You let it go, and it just leaves. It doesn't stick to your hand. The door wasn't a mimic. It was the door frame. No. Alright, you find yourself in front of a long hallway that is completely dark. So far, there have always been some sort of light source, but this one is completely dark, and so you can see as far as your dark vision can, which I believe for you is not very far.
I will cast light.
Alright. Concentrate for a moment, cast light. Suddenly this long hallway appears and make a perception roll.
The vampire reveals himself. Roll initiative.
Oh! Nat 20. Or 21.
Alright.
Oh, that's a bad sign, guys.
So you enter and you see this vampire who looks at you and says, vegetarian diet. So you enter this long hallway and you look around. It doesn't take too long before you realize that the hallway is blocked by most likely a rock slide. However, with such a high perception roll and a natural 20 on top of that, you do see clear signs that this is the result of an explosion. The rock are fragmented in a way that suggests that it was blown out. The way that the rocks also slide would suggest that the explosion was near the wall on your left. So most likely something was placed on the wall, blown up, with a pretty powerful explosion. And this is what caused the cave-in, the collapse of this tunnel.
Well, appears it was blown up deliberately by somebody.
Oh, you know, gnomes. Deliberately can be a vague term. There were a few gnomes in the expedition.
Yeah. Possibly deliberately. Who knows? Is that it? There's nothing else in the corridor.
No, you see the scorch mark really confirming that this was an explosion. Most likely a recent one within the last few days. And not the result of a landslide or a minor earthquake or something like that.
Do you think it was because of the mimics?
Maybe the party before us was trying to ran away from them and was trying to close off the thing behind them. Give me a second. I got to take this. I'll be right back.
Okay. Suddenly Fisher tries to explain something, and because he's having trouble, he's...
Yeah, I assume Fisher's just talking to his what's his face right now.
He's going into his mind palace.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Well,
I believe...
that's the only other place to go, right?
So I guess that... Well, with everything you've seen so far, Fisher, do you hide this information from members of the group, or do you share it with all?
What information?
What you found in the tunnel.
Oh, no. Yeah, it seems to have blown up. Where
is your character sheet? Alright, so I'd say, Remy, because you have such a high passive investigation, and investigation is the ability to put a puzzle together. Also, with the information that audience has given, with the information that Fisher has given, and what you've seen in the room, you can mostly figure out what might have happened. The other party didn't find how to solve the other puzzle. They know that the more mistake you make, the worse the punishment gets. And because what audience said, that he saw the remnants of something that was undead leaving the room and going to that corridor. And then Fisher saying that it exploded. The puzzle that is being presented to you is most likely whatever happened in that room. They made too many mistakes. Something chased them off inside this room. They couldn't have gone to the other room because it was locked with the best lock that you've seen so far. You're amazed at yourself for even figuring out how to unlock this. So they most likely didn't go to that room. Meaning it only left this one. So one of them might have run out and found itself stuck against whatever was chasing it, leading to an explosion. At least this is what it looks like. With all of the puzzle piece that you have and a passive investigation of 15.
Raimi, like literally thinking out loud, says like, "All right, Raimi, where's the body?" And then even like although actually
not in here unless it's under the rubble, or unless it is the rubble. I'm gonna hit one of the bigger pieces of rubble with a firebolt. Does anything happen?
All right, you aim at it, Make an attack roll.
Uh-oh.
See if you can hit rock.
Okay. 21.
21. You aim, you fire, and it hits exactly where you want it to hit. You see no reaction. It just makes a scorch mark on the rock. So either there is a mimic that is extremely well hidden, or there isn't actually a mimic in this corridor.
It must have gone out some other way. Unless it could squeeze through the rubble somehow. I don't know how mimics work.
Well, you can
Really?
you can make an Arcana roll. See if you've
Yeah.
read it.
Do I know how mimics work? Nat 20 again. For 27.
Okay,
This-
guys,
This is
we're
gonna
have
bite
to-
me in the ass later.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Like, this is a real bad sign, guys. We might be in trouble later.
Yeah. So for some reason, you were fascinated with mimic when you were making your researches on yourself.
Like, they're not constructs, but they act like them.
You know, you even thought that maybe you were a mimic for some reason, but unfortunately, you're not. So, you know that mimics are usually made by wizard, but some of them actually find themselves left alone in mazes, and they start just roaming and eating. A lot of them will follow orders set by their master. In their natural state, they do not have a shape. They're just a mass of some sort of leathery material just moving about. But once they take shape, they can take shape that is so exactly it. Even magic can't identify them unless they move. But they are usually made to start with. You know that they can also take any shape, depending on their own size. They like taking shapes which will draw adventurers, because that's how they eat. They eat whatever is drawn to them. So the shape that they will favor are shapes which will draw adventurers. Desk, chest, doors. But they can take any shape. They can be a statue. They can be a light fixture.
Just remembered, I do kind of know just maybe just a little bit about mimics. Just be on the not on the lookout. Just be ready if something attacks out of nowhere, because you can't really be on the lookout with them, because they could be literally anything. But there's a decent chance that whoever's lab this was the one that made them, meaning he may have had a safeguard of some sort against them. None of y'all have found anything like that, have you? Nope.
No. But what if the traps we're finding are safeguards against it? Maybe that's why it sprays arrows everywhere. Just to hit anything that could be a mimic.
I mean, I guess, yeah, what are the chances the other mimic was killed by the arrows? Oh. Yeah. So, yeah, just be wary. But I definitely don't think we're going to be able to hunt this thing down. Unless we spent days in here. But
remind me again what the floor is made of.
Mostly, you think it's some sort of material like marble.
Okay. A little bit of an off chance, or hmm. If Raby just started looking onto the ground, would he notice, especially since after an explosion, a lot of debris and bits of material scatter about and resettle. Um, could Raby see if there were any footprints leading out from the cave-in of boulders?
With an investigation roll, you might.
Yeah, Raby's just trying to rule out one extra thing. Right up the die. There it is.
I'll help.
Then you have advantage.
Okay, cool. Fisher definitely helped with this one. 19.
All right. So you start looking, and you suddenly get distracted by some bits of shiny rock, maybe an interesting marble, and then you have Fisher say, "Remy, stay on track." Yeah. So it takes a few minutes. You look around, and you don't see anything that would suggest something walked this way, crawled out of the rubble. Even more, you think that the explosion might have been slightly oriented toward where you were. So whatever exploded in a sort of cone oriented toward where you were.
What you looking for, Raimi?
Amy would respond with again. You look at that, Raimi. Those are rabbit tracks.
Rabbit. You're looking for the tracks of the mimic.
Shakes head.
Oh,
For the other party?
Nods head.
What are the chances, I know, audience, you were the one who saw that or felt that undead presence or something earlier, right?
Yes, I was.
oh.
What are the chances that that's just one of the party died and then became a ghost?
I mean, I guess I could roll I don't know what that would be.
For
History, religion, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say you could roll both.
I'll guide you.
Although
through
for
this.
you, I think religion would be more appropriate.
I was gonna say probably religion.
I'll cast guidance to help him with the religion.
All right, what does that give me? An extra D.
D4.
Or
Oh, right, the one I don't have.
Well, the ND Beyond has it, so.
Yes.
Just imagine
are
a
you just
pyramid
in-
rolling.
Okay, so
Are you
that.
just in the rogue here?
Alright, so that's an 18 on my religion roll.
Okay, so. With an 18, you'd know that this can happen, but it usually doesn't happen on its own. There's something making it. You've heard about monsters that can raise the spirits of fallen warriors and force them to attack. You know that some warlocks are able to do it also. Of course, necromancers are... Most of their reputation is based on that, but it usually doesn't happen on its own. There's an additional factor which would do this.
All right. I'll say it doesn't usually. So it doesn't usually happen on its own. There's a possibility if there was a, necromancer or some outside force that was casting a spell to raise it, that this would be a possibility, but it would not likely at all take place on its own.
Okay. Well,
Also, remember the undead I felt it seemed to be more than a day old, the presence, so
okay.
it definitely had not come back to that area anytime recently.
Do we... We've kind of found everything or fully explored other than the last puzzle room, right? Where the other party is?
As far as you know, you've explored every room that was available to you. And the only room with one puzzle in it that you haven't solved, you guess that there is a door there, but it's drawn on the wall and not an actual door that you can push or... So... It could be a door. It could just be a... Could actually be the mimic.
Mm-hmm. What room was that in?
The one right after the resting area that you found.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of seems like we've found everything
We're going to find at this point. I say we go back and either try that machine or break down the wall where the painting of a door is.
Audience knows which one he is voting for, but puzzles or breaking things.
Use your head. Oh, that's how it's done. All right.
But I don't want to use my head.
It always hurts when I do.
I guess.
So I would imagine that whenever audience sees a puzzle, for some reason, he thinks about the two rams that he saw when he was young fighting. They were solving a puzzle. All right, what do you do?
Yeah, we should.
Start heading back.
Yeah.
Or
I wanna
wait,
know-
Remy, did you get through all of the desks and notes and stuff here, or did you get interrupted by the mimic?
There were only 2 desks in the room, weren't there?
And
there-
one was a mimic.
And everything else is pretty fucked up. So I
Yes.
imagine there wasn't anything else that they hadn't really touched upon, figuratively or literally.
No, unless there's something hidden. But if there's nothing hidden, you have looked at every desk and at least touched everything, every machine, every book, every broken glass.
Oh. Yeah, right. I'm not sure how far into the hallway we had to go to reach this blockage point, but
Maybe around 50 feet.
I guess Raimi would I guess maybe walk back into the laboratory, and not necessarily with his own physical hands, but kind of like, in other words, being very careful as sort of like investigating a little bit with the walls, and maybe using his mage hand to interact with certain things, just to see if there was anything particular that they might have missed in this particular laboratory before they decide to leave.
All right, make an investigation roll.
That's gonna be 22.
All right. You take a little bit of time. It's not a closet by any means. It's a large room. But after maybe a good 10, 15 minutes, you are satisfied that there is nothing you haven't found already inside the room.
The ants have found food elsewhere.
Cool.
He says to the rest of the group.
So are we heading back?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know.
Rami, you want to hang on to those marbles?
Just in case you lose yours. Sorry, that was an easy one.
He has a bag of marbles.
I would take them, but I know you like shiny things.
That's what
You try to
distracted
grab
him.
the bag, and you actually hear like a hissing cat sound.
You hear him look at you. But he leaves away with the bag in his hand. All right. So, all right. You can, if you want, you can mark, Remy, in your inventory a bag of marbles, each attuned to different kinds of schools. There is at least if you try and gather everything you can, there is at least 20 marble of each school in the bag. Get the
Jesus.
feeling that
Okay.
he was using this to do more than just checking one school after the other. He might have been trying to figure out also how to rebalance things, how many marbles he needed to place in one receptacle in order to counteract the effect of something. His research was more involved.
Like Raimi assumed, but once everything either got splashed or thrashed or shot, or degraded over time, any number of those things,
No, it's just the thing is, once something has been properly enchanted, it'll stay like this sometime for over 1,000 years.
Oh no, I'm getting if there were any research notes left over.
Oh,
'Cause,
well,
'cause that stuff might not necessarily survive.
no, of course. A lot of the pages have been have degraded over time. Anything that was on the desk where all of the machines were and the potions were are drenched in different potion juice that, some you don't mind looking into, and then you come to this one and that looks like molasse. I'm not sure I want to touch whatever's under it. And then you get to the one, and that's incredible. Whatever was inside of it just fell on the pages, and exactly where there's the liquid, the page is pristine. And then there's writing on each side. So it just erased what was written on them. Magically. So yeah, you get a few interesting things, including a few ones that burned. Because you know that mixing potion can lead to explosion also. So, but yeah, you mostly don't find anything. The only book that really survived well, because it's a thick book and the outside is protected by a thick leather, and you think that there's something rigid inside of the leather to help the cover stay to keep its shape, is the extensive research this gnome has done on the interaction of different schools, how they push and pull against one another. It is the book inside of which you found the wheel, the arcane wheel.
Which he's holding on to for obvious reasons. Yeah, I guess if everybody was moving into the back through the other hallway, Raimi would follow. Although around where he suspects the midpoint is, he is going to double check for oddities that may indicate a secret entrance.
Okay, make an investigation roll.
Just because he's been given the impression that this building is very symmetrical. Did you say investigation or perception?
Well, it depends. If you want to sniff the walls and touch everything to make sure that nothing just recedes or thing like that, that's investigation. If you just want to be careful, don't touch anything and watch, that's perception.
Raimi will investigate usually. Yeah, he'll probably just investigate since perception doesn't always, like, sometimes, like, secret doors, fun fact, just look like the stuff that's around it.
Yeah.
Only an 18.
Oh no.
Well, as you look around, you are satisfied and disappointed with what you find. Because you look around and doesn't seem to be anything. You touch, and then eventually there's a piece of the wall that just... Hey!
But it just fell apart.
No, actually, you get a feeling that it was a compartment to hide. It's just large enough for a gnome to hide himself inside.
Ah.
It's their body.
Okay.
No.
No, Raimi understands what that hole was for. He looks down at the hallway that is full of arrows and bolts.
Makes sense.
That's about all.
But that did
That's all.
that did answer a question in Raimi's head, so he does feel a little satisfied that
Okay.
it's like, finally.
The world makes a little
It's
more
just
sense.
like,
All right. So, like I said, slightly disappointed that it wasn't more, but satisfied in some ways. All right, so you push on, you go back to the group, you find your way back into the exposition hall, where audience sort of remembers. Are you all right? You were starting to nod off.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
It's been...
I know, it's been this kind of day. So you push into this room and look around. Audience remembers the beauty of this room when there were weapons displayed everywhere and beautiful armors. And then it turned into the perfect exercise room, bringing back memories, feeling the exhaustion in his body and sort of... yeah. Good times. So you just keep on moving to this room because there doesn't seem to have been anything left. It was mostly ransacked by Fisher and Raimi, who basically just shove everything they could inside the audience's dimensional storage space. With a little more care than the last time something was shoved inside of there, but still. You keep on pushing, the doors are still unlocked. You find yourself, after another roughly total of 100 feet of corridor, find yourself inside of the resting area with Fisher's pillow fort still there. And then you find yourself back in the room where there are 3 corpses, a receptacle at the end, a door painted on the wall. This is where you are. Fisher, of course, as you enter this room, you hear from inside of you someone saying, well, this time if you want to go looking at things, try not to adopt the raccoon method.
And Fisher just leaves him hanging.
I'm sure he'd like to argue, but he rolled a 3, I think, when he was investigating.
This room was a nat 1.
Natural
Yeah, he
one.
rolled a natural
So
1.
that
That's-
really
yeah,
was...
That's why it
That's
was
what
such a
killed
mess.
So we're in the room with the receptacle, right?
Yeah.
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 All right, I'm gonna cast a quick divine sense just to make sure that the mimic is not in this room with us.
Okay. I'm not sure it would pick a mimic, but let me refresh.
It would depends if a mimic is considered evil or not.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yes.
Monster manual.
So I'm gonna peek at the door and which wall is
Okay.
the door?
So, get in. I don't know why, but I keep having to reread what it does. It just won't stick in my mind. Detect good and evil, and your turn, you can if a hollow spell, no location of Silzio, fiend, or undead. It is not behind total cover. You can use. Okay. So you enter this room and you use the sense. It's the first time that you use this sense in this room, so you get a few more details that you didn't have the last time. You get a flash of undeath trajectories everywhere. As if someone had just used a the sort of candles that children often use that just emit sparks and you can write your name in there.
Sparkler, yeah.
As if someone has used something like that emitted an undead spark and it just started to trace everywhere in this room. You just have this flash of whatever that was. It moved. Might have been only one, might have been a swarm of them, but it's just a okay. Then it fades. It's not here right now.
I will mention that. By the way, guys, there was a bunch of undead energy in this room, like an undead swarm. It's not here right now, but there was like an undead swarm that just went everywhere of undead magic.
I don't like that.
Well, let's see if we can get this right on the first shot then.
Does the receptacle itself because I know that that Remy had detect magic on at the time, but does the receptacle that looked like where the marbles would go, are they also colored or are they blank?
No,
neutral
actually,
color?
as you get in closer to this receptacle and start evaluating, and Jorg, I think you just said you were watching where the door was painted. So you have Jorg that's just right next to you, and Remy, you're looking at this receptacle, looking at the other receptacle under it. Actually, no, there's one marble of each color. There's 8 marble the size of a large plum. They fit the color that you found that you have in your little bag full of marbles. It's the same exact colors. On the receptacle, now that you're right in front of it, you see that there are 8 holes that forms a circle, and above the one that is to the left, which would be west if you use the cardinal position on the marble square. The one that is to the left, it's written. Well, actually, something is written in Gnomish there. Looks old. Look like it's been written there for quite a while.
Raimi, knowing how annoyed audience was throughout this whole dungeon, turns to him and points at it.
Audience gets excited.
We need your expertise.
All right, you arrive.
Audience had spectacles right now. He'd make a big show of like putting them on his eyes to like peer very scholarly at the text.
You just copy this thing that you saw from a scholar, just even though you don't have anything on your hands. Yeah.
Try and copy the way that
In fact, you have.
I've seen the
perfect vision.
mages in my past like look at their like scrolls and stuff, just like yes, very,
It's
very
just- it's like You have
interesting.
perfect vision. It's just that you just carry around a pair of fake
Yes.
spectacles.
That could mean this. Maybe.
He just tries to remember what Antasia did inside of her magical Vardo.
Pretty much.
So, to the left is written in Gnomish, the greatest school there ever was.
Okay. I will relay that to the party. On the left it says, let me see here, the greatest school that ever was.
It feels like it's been written there for very long time. It's not something that was written by the party before. Most likely, it was written by whoever made this receptacle. Hey, we have Chaotic Calling joining us. Hello.
Hey.
Hey ho.
As
Let's
everyone is
see.
pondering this, Jorg, you look at the wall. You look at the drawing of this door on the wall, and well, it looks like a very beautiful door, but you know, you look at it and you make an investigation roll.
Investigation. Ooh, 2.
It's very well drawn.
Might be a real
Friend
door.
and enter.
It's beautiful. You know, you've seen paintings like this, especially in the old island where you were. You've seen churches with painting that are as intricate as this. It's very beautiful. But it's a painting.
Which wall is it on?
It's on the same wall as the receptacle, maybe just 1 or 2 feet away from it.
All right. I like this painting.
You got the druid who's there, with the audience just, all right, it's written, and then it's a nice painting. I like it.
Uh-huh.
It has an
Has it got
organic feel
anything
to
useful
it.
on it?
No.
Is it a
What do
real
you-
door?
It's a painting. It's not a real door.
Hearing his tone, I would like to look at it.
Well, you can, of course, since no one assisted him. There's not going to be a penalty to this. But-
Audience, in the meanwhile, will lean over to Jorg and be like, "Ah, yes, you see how the lines up? Very nice, very nice." Yes.
There seems to be some dwarvish
Man,
influence.
as soon as we get into combat, I'm so screwed. That's a 24 investigation.
Good lord. I hope you don't die today. So,
This is just making up for
yeah,
The
for the past 2
everything
sessions.
else.
Since you joined the party?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there were a few good ones, but mostly, yeah. Well, Fisher, as you're looking at this painting with such a high investigation, there's one thing that pops up. This is way too well drawn. It almost feels like there's perspective when you look at it.
I stab it with my sword.
Make an attack roll against rock. Let's burn these natural 20s, yeah, when you can.
Yeah, I burned it. Natural 18, so 25.
You make a very proficient strike at this painting of a door.
Audience leaning back. Ah, very nice way the way he drew his sword into that line of that door.
Alright. Apparently, audience is still a little drunk from whatever was left in this potion, in his water skin. But yeah, no, you strike at the door and nothing happens. It's like striking at a wall. But it's so well drawn, it feels like... Well, for you, player, it feels like someone would have transformed an actual door into a picture of a door.
While this was happening, Raimi just went ahead and just opened his book again to ritual cast detect magic.
All right. Well,
While they were investigating this door.
while everyone was marveling at how intricately well made the door are and the decorations on them, and very interesting. And Jorg, you also find elements which looks like roots, which makes the sides of the door, so it's really appealing also to you aesthetically and artistically.
Well,
Nice.
this is, in my professional opinion, this is a real door that will become real when we figure out this receptacle thing.
Okay.
Remy, you detect magic, and the same thing happens as the last time. The receptacle itself is heavily magical, and because you're so close to it, you do see there are some traces of magic which would link it to the wall. Sort of a residue of magic that just trails off and goes into the wall. You don't know where it goes, but judging from this, it most likely has something to do with the drawing itself, which is a bit odd when you look at it with detect magic. It's like you can't say that it's actually magical, but it sparkles as if someone had drawn it with sparkles, gold sparkles, which you couldn't see before you made your detect magic. The receptacle itself like I said, is heavily magical, and each of the 8 balls radiate the arcane magic that goes with the color of the appropriate school. Okay, I think now you're muted.
Oh yeah, there's the red dot. But but as far as like the holes themselves, like those aren't like like those are just like neutral, like they're
Yeah,
just like vaguely magical.
just like the entire receptacle. They're the exact size of each of these plum size ball of color.
So. And the gnomish inscription said the greatest school or something like that.
Yes, the picture, it was the greatest school of magic
The greatest school there ever was.
there ever was. I say as I look at it again, not remembering it actually very well from the first time.
The greatest school to ever.
You go back to it and yes,
Actually,
yes.
it goes like this. I go, yes, that is. Wait, actually, wait. No. The greatest school that ever was.
So we have to figure out which one the greatest school was.
I
What
mean,
if-
obviously, it's none of them. It's martial law. It's a trick question.
Ray just like blinks.
You sure you're using the right words there, audience?
Yeah, no, I meant martial. You know what?
Martial
Let's
magic.
move on.
What if
No, we're not gonna.
It's chi,
Yeah,
Like
martial
Amiali
law has
uses.
a different context than I think what you were going for.
I don't think Jorg would have made this connection, but I had a thought.
Okay.
What if you mentioned earlier about balancing the number of marbles per like there's enough you could like figure out how much of one school there is. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm
Well-
thinking,
What Remy
What if-
has. Okay, go ahead.
just what if one school of magic based on these marbles is more powerful than the others, and we have to figure out which number of marbles, which one takes the fewest number of marbles to balance some sort of equation.
Well, I definitely feel like we're on the same page in the fact that last time, or Remy said that all schools of magic are present on this thing.
Yeah, you have
And
one
I feel like,
one ball for every school.
yeah. And there is only one ball for each school.
In the receptacle, yes.
Okay. I just think we have to cancel out each school of magic like we're unlocking them step by step. We just might have to, because like the marbles are colored,
Yeah.
right? But the receptacles themselves are not.
No, it just looks like a goldish brass material.
Right. What pattern are the holes laid out in?
A perfect circle.
Okay.
It is
do
very
we-
reminiscent of the arcane wheel, in the fact that it
Arcane wheel,
makes
yeah.
a circle.
Do we know what? Has anybody gotten or have I gotten a sense of what this mage's favorite school of magic would have been?
goodness.
found anything.
It could be either illusion or like transmutation, because it's like there's the door and it's hiding the door.
Mm-hmm.
He also has mimics.
So
The other
And he
thing,
has a different impression, but
the other thing I'm thinking is just the far left side. That's where divination is on the wheel.
So, your first question was, do you have a sense of...
If this mage had a specialty or a favorite school of magic.
Well, from the things that you've seen, you'd say that they're magics which allows you to build stuff, enchant weapons. I was trying to figure out if there's... What would be general lore? Okay. Do you say this out loud first? Or is
Yeah.
it just something that you think about yourself?
Specifically ask everybody if they'd seen anything that made them.
Okay. So... You can make a history check to learn this, but to see if you can remember something like this. But audience, because of something that is written on your sheet, on your character sheet, you can make a roll with proficiency also. That would be intelligence, unfortunately, but you can add your proficiency to it.
Okay.
So anyone who wants to make this roll, you can make history
That'd be plus
roll.
2.
In audience, you
can
can make a intelligence roll with proficiency.
Can I cast guidance on everyone or just one other person?
it's concentration.
Only one at a
Only
time.
one person.
Oh, one at a time. I'll stick it on Fisher,
Cool.
and also
There's my 2.
ooh,
That's
a
a
5.
I feel like I already suspect which school this is, but we'll see what happens. Mine is a 21.
21. Fisher,
17.
17. Audience,
5.
5.
Me too.
Okay, so Jorg, you think about what Fisher just said, and you know, audience, you feel like you should know this, and you sort of go back to when you were learning to speak Gnomish in your mind, and the gnome that was teaching this to you, he kept saying something, but you just can't remember it. Unfortunately.
He was too short, too hard to hear.
That's why you have such a bad accent when you talk Gnomish. Fisher and Remy. You...
That's just so insensitive.
He's really tall.
to hear.
Imagine if it was a kobold. So, Remy and Fisher, you think about this, and well, there's one type of gnome that favors illusion above all other types of magic. They even learn how to use the minor illusion cantrip as part of their normal everyday teaching. if the gnome that made this laboratory was a forest gnome, it could be that.
Mm. So I'm kind of thinking that this inscription must be how we're supposed to orient the wheel. And then once we have that, we can start putting the marbles in, because then we'll know where to put them. And I know some gnomes really like illusion stuff, and I guess this wall or door thing that it's not an illusion though, it's actually flat. I don't know. Rami, you said us messing this up could be fatal, right?
Rainy points at the ceiling.
Look at the ceiling.
So what I hear is we maybe shouldn't we don't all have to be in this room while we're trying to do this.
That's a good point. If we plant, did you plant that guy?
We can't. There's no dirt
Oh, yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
I should have known that.
You
should
can't
make
make dirt, can you?
Was Jorg
No.
the druid
I'll
about to
just remember-
suggest that
Listen.
Olnak be used as a sacrificial lamb above the table? Is this what's about to happen?
In simple life and death terms, he comes back. Unlike us.
Listen, he's not the only familiar we have. We have another if Remy's willing to do it.
I don't think the cat can hold one of those balls.
It could maybe turn into something that would allow it to hold one of those balls.
Yeah. What is there anything on the ceiling? What's on the ceiling? What was Rami pointing at?
Oh yeah.
Make a perception roll.
It's a big old spider. 9.
You think you can sort of make out something that's written on the ceiling? It's not big. It's maybe half a foot by half a foot large circular writing.
Rami, what are you pointing at? Is there anything
Rami
I can
looks-
stack to stand on top of to get closer to?
Yeah, I could. What if we lift up audience? So
yeah,
he
you're
can read
gonna
it,
lift
assuming it's-
audience. Good luck with that.
Yeah, here,
Uh,
George. Why don't you read it?
Can I read it?
I will brace myself to push him up.
I mean, I can help. I can help race. If we each get one side, we can probably just like lift him up in our hands. Just carrying half his body
could you-
weight.
Could you cast light on the end of my staff so I can hold it up to the?
Sure.
Thanks.
I will do so.
So now we have a human. Well, sorry. We have a construct, dragonborn, and human pyramid in the room.
All right.
Remy, this is very interesting. You've never seen this before. This is a very unique picture in front of you.
Teamwork.
Rainy takes a mental picture of this. He saves this one for later.
So, Jorg, you go up on Fisher and audience's shoulders and you try and read what's there. Goodness. Make a... Oh, it's not that far. You'd be able to see it. Make an Arcana roll.
Arcana. Ooh, 12. Can I cast guidance on myself?
You can, but you have to
It's a bit late.
you have to tell me before.
Yeah, I'll do that next time.
You look at this. Oh goodness, gods! That's right. I should have. Sorry. I should say this before I look.
Yo.
So, look at this. It does look like some sort of glyph sigil, but it's really embedded in the ceiling.
What does it look like?
Some sort of sigil or glyph. I don't know what it means though.
What's it look like? Got like swirlies or like a sharp edges?
It looks like
Yeah,
arcane writing.
It looks like arcane writing. What if? Yeah.
It's a druid. It's not a mage. It looks like arcane writing, you know.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ramy, do you already know what that thing is?
Remy, since now you have the wheel, it does give off a orange glow.
Which is consistent from what he's already seeing with
Yes.
detect magic,
Yes.
and he just minor illusions the school for conjuration.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
okay.
Well, I'll get down. Should I get down with acrobatics or just carefully? All right. I'll go carefully.
Is there a difference? Is there a difference in this case?
It's basically acrobatic.
Go ahead, make an acrobatic.
Uh-oh. Yeah, doing the human pyramid. Also a 12.
So it's not graceful. It's slightly satirical as you watch this, but no one falls down. It's just 0 points for style.
That's all I need.
Does anyone know if you destroy a glyph that it stops working, or does it trigger it when you try and destroy it?
Depends what kind of glyph it is.
Only to find out.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure you'd be able to destroy it.
You see the flicker of lightning start to appear in audience now.
You just
Yeah,
tell
maybe
audience
not.
You couldn't
Maybe-
destroy something.
Maybe not quite.
Challenge accepted?
He looks at this glyph and just says, I met a ball like you once. I'm gonna get you.
Ramy, what do you think of spinning the wheel, so to speak, so that illusion is where the inscription is, and then placing the marbles in, or the orbs, in order to cancel out each of the schools? Possibly, maybe even starting with conjuration, because that's the glyph we can see up there, and then going.
Now, DM,
Yes.
I know we rolled that particular history for that lore, but is there some way of, because as Raimi is thinking, illusion magic has come up 0% of the time, the entire time that they've been in this arcane laboratory.
Okay.
But one particular school like keeps showing up pretty consistently in at least like in a lot of the different like different things that they had been encountering. So would Raimi be able to like make some sort of roll to see um if maybe that particular school would actually be like the gnome would have been biased toward this specific school since he used it so often in this laboratory?
Well, the problem is that there's one variable missing, and that's the whole problem. If you judge by what you've seen inside this laboratory, there's a really, really good chance that it's. Hold on, I took note of it here. There's a really good chance that it's either enchantment or alteration, because that's what would make you give you the ability to make magical objects like flying weapons and flying armor. But if the gnome that made this place is the type of gnome that literally creates a life around illusion, like one of the family of gnomes is, it's such a part of their life that they literally feel it's the greatest school there ever was. They're among the greatest specialists of it. The problem is that you don't know the gnome who made this. Everything you have left are the defenses he left behind. What he might have accomplished. There's one variable missing. Basically, it's saying the same thing as in the dungeon, in the player's handbook. It is the same as race. Come on. Gnomes. Here we go.
Forest gnome versus rock gnome.
Yeah, basically that's the variable you're missing to make a definite judgment on this. If it was a rock gnome, or what rock gnome are called in this world, then you would go towards alteration or enchantment. If it's a forest gnome, illusion seems the obvious choice.
Well, I guess.
You're missing one variable, and that's the problem.
And when we so when we when we came in here, like once we were in here, like the orbs are like hovering between yellow and red, aren't they?
Yeah. Which means teleporting out is dangerous. It doesn't mean you don't have access to trying and speak with the garden, but teleporting out is extremely risky.
What was the type of gnome that was at the entrance to the cave the one we talked with?
You didn't ask. He was very nervous, bit fidgety, kept going back and forth to the different tents, even though he was alone.
What like type did he seem closer to? Did he seem like of what we know about gnomes? I mean, I've studied gnomes a bit.
Yeah,
so I know that
you've seen gnomes because you know how to speak gnomish.
Yeah.
Make an intelligence roll.
Oh, good. I love those.
Sorry.
Oh, 15. We'll take that, Bethanians.
So the obvious choice for exploring, sorry about this. So for exploring a place would be a rock gnome, because they have this connection. It's part of their education to study the history of magical object and alchemy. So it's most likely that, especially if it's a researcher. It's what would be the obvious choice.
Okay. Okay. I'll take that. I'm not going to mention anything. It's just-
Cool. So we going with illusion there?
I guess Amy's going to.
If nobody says
fight the
anything,
bullet.
I'm gonna start.
All right. We could back up and.
I was going to say, audience is going to leave
Any
the
last
room.
minute information
Audience,
anyone would like
audience
to
is
share?
gonna leave the room if he's about to start.
Raymond could use his mage hand to do it, and we could all leave the room. Or
No, wait.
at least
No, wait,
Sam,
we
you
can't.
said the audience didn't mention
Oh, okay.
anything, right?
He doesn't. No, I don't mention. Because I'm
Okay.
like, I don't think. Audience has not made any connection between the gnome outside and anything here, so he wouldn't mention anything. It was more something I was thinking about.
That's not.
Also, Draken designed this room exactly how it needs to be, because it's 40. Like the receptacle was 40 feet away from the door.
Oh,
If anyone wants to ask audience what he thinks the gnome outside the thing
I don't
was.
care about the
No.
gnome outside.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't
Jordan
care
isn't
about the
thinking
gnome
about
inside.
that.
Do I know about not rock gnomes? Just as a concept, seeing as I know about forest gnomes.
Vaguely, since you didn't succeed all that well, you know.
I got a 17.
No, it's a good roll. It's just not. There's audience had an advantage in this because
Yeah.
he has proficiency with Gnomish, meaning that he studied Gnomish language and most likely a little bit of their culture. Here, there's nothing that indicates this, so there's no advantage that you get. You do know that there are two different types of gnome. There are those who lives more in small burrows and at the edge of elven territories. For the player's handbook, because if I start giving the name that I've given to these gnomes, you're gonna get even more mixed up. So those are the forest gnome, and they are very close to nature. They stay close.
Can I connect? We are underground. This is a rock gnome.
Like I said, there is one variable missing. That's the problem. If it was a forest gnome, illusion would be the obvious choice. But if it's a rock gnome are known for their tinkering nature.
Right.
To be closer to dwarf even, in general, in this world. Then alteration or enchantment is the obvious choice, because that's
Okay.
what would have you make object.
Okay, never mind then. Not illusion. There's no forest down here, so it's obviously not a forest gnome.
Randy is taking the dodge action.
Mhm.
Audience is leaving the room.
So what if it's the opposite? What's the opposite of the illusion?
Well, then I will. If we put,
Necromancy.
well, I guess
Ooh.
which one do we want to start with?
What if we start with necromancy? There is all that undead energy around. And it's the opposite of illusion? Maybe that was a hint.
All right, so Which
Maybe.
marble do you place where?
Has
Uh,
audience left the room?
Audience or Jorg will be at the entrance to the room.
All right,
Not
so
wanting-
audience has left the building. No, I mean the room. George is standing.
Audience was no help in this, and he knows that, and he will come in if he hears sounds of combat.
All right, first off, Raimi, are there any other glyphs you can see anywhere other than the conjuration one on the ceiling?
Oh, it was conjuration.
Remy, as far as all of your roles in this room have allowed you to see, no. There's the one on the ceiling, and there's the receptacle where you place all the marbles. Big plum size marble.
Amy shakes his head.
Okay. Well then. You said alteration or enchantment for tinkering with stuff?
Alteration or enchantment would be the obvious choice if it's a rock gnome. Illusion if it's a forest gnome.
Uh-huh. Now that I was kind of starting to be sure, but then that necromancy thing Jorg said is making me second guess myself.
You see Fisher take one ball of color, he's just about to put it in, and then you see him pull it away and start thinking again. And would you like to have 10 minutes to think about this? We could go on break right now. It's about
Right.
time.
Might as well.
All right, then. We're going to give our party a 10-minute to think about this and ponder about what would be the best configuration of balls. Yes, I know, it sounds a bit weird when said like that. So, see you all in 10 minutes. And remember, if you're not following, this is the perfect time to follow us. See you in 10 minutes. Bye. Aha, welcome back. You have missed a very interesting debate, which is still going on. So, Fisher and Raimi, as you seem to be the ones figuring out which ball goes where, you are in front of this receptacle with 8 balls in your hands, and you have to place them in the circle that is in front of you. Which ball do you place where? You have an inscription to the left, so that is to the west of it. That is the greatest school that ever was. So, what ball do you place where?
What? Screw it. We're gonna go simple. I'm gonna pick up the brown ball and put it in the slot with the inscription on it.
All right. So you place the brown ball where it says the greatest school that ever was. All right. Let's go counterclockwise. No, let's go clockwise. What is the next one that you place in? You place it in,
Clockwise.
nothing happens. So next one.
Right. Clockwise.
Or, well, you can go opposite. It's easier for me to read as you're placing it in. But
Yep. We'll just go clockwise. So the next one would be purple,
okay,
then pink,
okay,
then orange.
Yep.
Then blue.
Yep.
Then green.
Yep.
Then red.
Yep.
And then white.
okay. So you place each ball, always looking at the glyph written on the ceiling every time. Nothing seems to happen. You look at the door. All right, you place them in one by one. And as you place the last one, You hear coming from this receptacle a small. Then you see all of the ball fall through. The holes become empty again. They fall in the receptacle under it. And then you hear a little. And you hear a little humming sound coming from the ceiling, slowly.
Can I see anything?
You look up and you see this little ball of brilliant energy coming down from about where the glyph is. It's slowly drifting toward where you are.
Straight down or like towards me?
It's slowly drifting down toward you. Like if you let a feather fall and it's slowly just making its way to where you are.
Does it look dangerous?
It's a small ball of light.
Okay.
What do you do?
I will. I'll just kind of see where it goes.
Raimi has not stopped taking the dodge action.
If I move, does it like kind of move to follow me, or does it kind of keep its?
Okay. So you move just a little bit, and maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It goes down roughly to the height where your head should be, and it starts moving slowly in your direction. It's about 10 feet from where you were. 9 feet.
I'm gonna go to catch it.
All right.
And right before I do, I go, Raimi, last chance to leave.
So, Remy, you see Fisher about to take this ball, making its way toward Fisher.
Well, since it's apparently moving this slowly, I guess Raimi will just go ahead and dash out of the room. Since he could
All right.
take 2 actions in a turn.
So, Fisher,
Come
you
to an audience in the room of safety.
Fisher, you reach out toward it. You try and grab it, and your hand just goes right through it. And just as you open it, you feel a shock of energy going through you. You take 9 points of force damage.
Force damage.
Yeah. Fisher, since you're the only one there, roll for initiative. That ball is attacking you.
Noise. Hey, that's not bad. 14.
Well, it goes first.
That's much better.
So you're all looking at this, and then you see Fisher try and grab the ball, and the ball just goes right through Fisher's hand. And he opens it, but you see that it's still slightly in contact with him, and suddenly you hear him go, "Argh!" And then Is a 19 sufficient to hit you?
Not with shield, it isn't.
So as you see it start to adopt an aggressive stance, you see energy building up from it, and you see this bolt of energy flying toward you. You use your shield last moment.
Yeah.
You see this bolt of lightning hits the shield and dissipates. The creature is aggressive toward you. Everyone, you just see this. You see the ball. You see Fisher taking away his hand as it hurts. And then you see the ball emits more and more energy. And then you see this bolt of lightning coming out of the creature. Fisher raising his shield at the last moment and covering himself from the attack. Fisher, it's your turn.
I will pull out my fancy new greatsword and try and hit it with it.
Go ahead.
This is where all my rolls start to fail me. 18 to hit.
You swing and try to hit it, but just as your weapon is about to hit it, you see it dodge out of the way rapidly and come back in front. 18 was not enough.
That's not good.
Jorg, audience, and Remy, what are you doing as you see this fight starting right in front of you? This creature has thrown a bolt of electricity toward Fisher, and Fisher is trying to hit it, but with little success.
Now that we're in a place that audience can understand and fully embrace, he will re-enter the room, drawing his longsword and shield, and go to attack the thing.
Then roll for initiative if you want to join.
Jorg's coming in. Ooh.
That'll be a 5.
Jorg got a 19.
Way to go,
Randy
George.
joins the brawl. Or 17.
All right. So 18 for Jorg. Remy is 17. Audience is 4, you said?
5.
5.
Whatever.
And
I'm last.
Fisher was 14, I believe. And the creature itself is the first to reattack, as it has a 21 for its initiative.
Damn.
Judging from how it moves, you get the feeling that this thing is agile as Alright, well, Fisher, since you are the one that is the closest, it's going to attack you again. So it turns toward and tries to attack with a 21 to hit.
Do I want to keep doing this? I'll take it.
You get hit by a shock of electricity for 10 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
All right, the next one in the initiative is Jorg with an 18.
All right, Jorg's gonna.
You're at the entrance of this room, meaning you are exactly 40 feet away from where Fisher is right now.
All right, he's gonna come about halfway between
35
them,
feet,
or halfway through the room, and then cast Sacred Flame on it. One of his.
Okay.
Hopefully that works. It has to survive it. Or,
Remember, it's agile as all hell.
that's a good point.
All right.
Frostbite.
Hold on. I think I can help you figure out where things are because I have a map of the room.
Actually, frostbite would be way better.
Okay. Right now, with the exception of Fisher, who is technically at either G4 or H4, based on the description that you gave.
G4.
Alright, and I am transferring this to the battle map. Fisher, you're at G4. Jorg and audience were at the entrance, and Remy, I believe you were also at the entrance as you dashed out. Alright, so right
there was
now,
space.
there is
They were just like huddling at the door.
Yeah. Alright, so Jorg.
Jorg will be at E5. And he casted Sacred Flame, even though he should have done Frostbite.
Okay. Sacred Flame, go ahead, roll for attack.
Well, it's a dex save.
Dexterity saving throw, yes, sorry.
414, yeah.
Rolled a 19. It just,
Ooh, yeah.
you see the explosion of radiant energy just go. Unfortunately, it dodged out of the way.
Yup.
Alright, the next one in the initiative is Remy.
Alright, then I guess Rainy will.
Now you have a place to enter the room at A4. So this is where you make your first 5 feet of movement. If you want to enter the room.
I mean, Rainy will enter the room and he will move over to he'll move to are those other black dots? Are they like,
They're pillars.
what do they
There
represent?
are 4 pillars,
pillars, okay.
inside the room. Support pillars.
Okay. In which case,
Actually, there's a.
Alright, so then Brady will move to
There's a dwarf. There's a dwarf that Fisher hasn't raccooned into pieces at F5. So, you said you were going where?
Raimi will move to D3, and he's going to throw the good boy at the ball of light.
Okay.
That will be a 22 to hit.
22 to hit is enough.
For 16 piercing damage.
Okay. You throw your dagger, and although it goes right through as if it was incorporeal, you do notice a reaction from the orb of light. As for anyone who has guessed, is a will-o-wisp. Who just reacts from the dagger passing right through it. You did injure it. You're sure of it.
Yep. Then uses a bonus action to whistle the dagger back to his hand, and he'll end his turn where he's standing.
All right, the dagger comes back. Remy, which means the next one is Fisher with a 14.
All right. First off, I am going to. Why do I never have remember to have one of these out? Use my bonus action to second wind.
Because it's starting to sting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Find the D10. There it is. Ooh, not bad. That's 12 hit points back. Alright, and then I will swing at the will-o-wisp with my greatsword.
Go ahead.
Better. Nope, that's a miss. It's 15.
Fortunately, you tried to hit it, and it just dodged out of the way.
And yeah, that's my turn.
All right. Which means the next one is audience.
Alright. Audience will move the full 30 feet towards the orb. Which means it is in range because it's 5 feet then in front of me. Right. Because if it's 35 feet away and I move 30 feet, it's
Yeah,
5
that's
feet in
good.
front.
It's right in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he will try and hit it.
Go ahead.
With a 22 to hit.
It is enough.
Alright. He will strike it for 13 points of damage.
Okay. You're using your longsword?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, you managed to slash it right on it, and it does seem to start to flicker a bit. It is severely weakened.
Alright.
Alright, which means we go back to the top of the initiative with the will-o-wisp. Alright. Well, it will try and... It doesn't have much choice. Alright, so it'll try to hit... Oh, it actually has 2 targets now. Well, apparently it's going to try and hit audience with a 18.
Nope.
Tries to hit you with a shock of energy, but you dodge out of the way just in time. And then we go back to Jorg.
Jorg is this time he's just gonna throw a knife at it or a dart
Go ahead.
with an 11.
You throw at
You're
it,
not very
and
good at throwing darts, are you?
You know, he's getting used to it.
since you're just behind the audience, you're there and you're trying to aim at it. I see it, and you throw it, and then audience, you hear this going right by your right ear. Wow, that was close.
I know what I'm doing. Audience, don't worry about it.
I just kind of looks back like, uh-huh.
For a moment, you're afraid that it cut off part of the horn that's just right next to your ear. All right, so this means we go down to Remy.
Yep, Remy's just going to throw the good boy again, because He's seen this thing try to shock people, and he doesn't want to be chicken.
No, nothing like fried chicken.
Yeah, the 25 will hit.
Is enough to hit.
Oh, cool. For, 19 piercing. I nearly rolled max.
That's good. All right. You throw your dagger, and just as your dagger passed right through it, you see the light go. And the room goes quiet again. The will-o-wisp has been killed.
Nice. I'll grab my dart.
And so Remy has started putting the pieces together.
About what
It's
happened?
Looks where the will-o-wisp was, looks out the door toward the entryway to the caved-in area.
Yeah. Lightning does tend to activate explosive. All right. Jorg, you go get your dagger, which is in the wall at H5.
Woo!
You threw it, you missed, so it's embedded somewhere. All right. The room is silent again. What do you do now?
Well, that obviously wasn't right.
Do better.
What was your reasoning for that one?
Oh, well, we're underground, and there's lots of magic weapon stuff, so I was guessing rock gnome, and then I went with alteration or transmutation over enchantment because
Enchantment would help to put an enchantment on a blade, for example.
Mhm.
Transmutation could help make it permanent.
Mhm. I was thinking of the mimics and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I was going to go for enchantment next.
Alright, we'll be here. Just like further away.
Taking a few steps back. So where do you all go?
Maybe hide behind the pillars.
That's what Jorg was thinking. Go behind to F7.
Okay.
Audience will back to the doorway. He knows he can get to where Fisher is in like a single round.
All
He
right.
doesn't need to be in here.
So Fisher, you go back to the receptacle, and Remy, where do you go?
Just so he has a little more more tactical. He's not going to leave the room. He's going to move to B. We'll say B3,
Okay.
and he's going to continue just taking the dodge action because he doesn't know if that's going to happen again or if something worse is going to happen.
All right. So Fisher, what color ball do you place at the greatest school there ever was?
We're gonna go with. Where is it? Pink.
All right. Followed by clockwise.
Where's the? I don't need. No, I just realized I could just. If we started pink, then we go orange, blue, green, red, white, brown, purple.
All right. So you place them all in again. Okay. Place the last one in. You hear the same, and then you see all of the ball fall right through, fall inside of the receptacle, and then again you hear, but now you hear another, And you
Shit.
see 2 ball of lights slowly drifting down toward where you are.
Can I shoot one with a firebolt?
Go ahead.
Oh, for the record, does Raimi know what will-o-wisps actually are? Like, does he know what they are?
Well, that could be...
I know you named them and it's obvious, but
I know. You could make an Arcana roll or a religion roll. Being spirits, it could be covered by religion.
I know which one I'm rolling. Okay, I wish I didn't waste the nat 20 on this one, but okay.
Yeah, you've heard about will-o-wisps, especially since, they're shiny, they're balls, they float. It sort of was obvious when you saw the picture in the book. You know them pretty well. You know that they're undeads. They can form naturally in the wild, but since they're appearing right next to a conjuring sigil, you get the feeling that it is a spell that is conjuring them, and so bending their will to do something. You know that they have a whole bunch of resistance. They have a lot of resistance toward, obviously, many condition. You've seen Fisher trying to grab it, so obviously it is immune to being grappled. But you know that they're immune to a whole lot. They have an extremely good range of vision. They can easily see the entire room. And you know that they can move a whole lot faster than what they've been moving so far. They mostly use lightning attack. You don't know why Fisher screamed, as this one is not part of what you know, so it might be a variant of will-o-wisp. You didn't see an arc of light when he screamed the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But you know also that it is really not a good idea for someone to fall unconscious in this battle. This could go really poorly for them.
Okay.
Well, that's about
I don't know
everything
if we're re-entering turn order, but
That's about
I
everything.
missed.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
7?
Oh.
Alright. Well, you fire at them,
Yes.
hoping to catch them off guard. You miss. It goes to the ceiling, makes a small scorch mark. And then suddenly you see them all just dart right toward you, and both of them are attacking you first. Alright, we go back to the initiative order, which means the creatures are attacking first. The first one tries to hit you with a 10, so obviously
Nope.
not very good. The other one, however, tries to hit you with a 19.
Oh, come
use the spell slot, please.
on. Yeah, I'm gonna catch kill.
You use the shield?
Yeah.
Alright. So you use your shield once again to block the incoming arc of electricity bouncing off the shield. You're running low on energy. Alright, it is them. However, both of them are right next to you. Since they're tiny creatures, it's really hard for me to place them on the map, because it keeps trying to resize the creature, and tiny creature can be both of them in the same square. So this is where they are. Right now, the two creatures are at G6. Alright.
Do I know they're undead?
Sorry?
Do I know they're undead?
You have no clue.
They're little lightning balls.
You could guess that they are made of energy, because of the lightning and because of the force damage you took. Everyone's been talking about weird stuff making undead trajectories everywhere because of the audience's senses. So you could assume there are undead. That is it.
Mm-hmm. Never mind then.
All right, Jorg.
Jorg is gonna pop out from behind his post and spear him.
Go ahead.
Oh, he's gonna drop his staff and two-hand it too, but he only got an 8. He's not good at poking little floating orbs either.
You are here trying to strike at the little orbs. You strike, and Fisher, you see a spearhead just go. Jorg isn't all that good at fighting, you think?
Yeah.
No.
Hey, maybe stick to spells.
And maybe I will.
Remy, it is your turn now. Unless George, you want to
right.
you want to move.
You're about as good with a spear as I am with a spell.
Aw.
That's a little mean, actually.
Both for Jorg and for him.
It's self-deprecating, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Remy.
All right. I'm just making this clear to Sam that I am burning my action for this. Ravy is going to look toward audience, and he is going to minor illusion the image of the mace that they had found the previous day, and he's going to point at the balls.
Ah, yes. That would be smart. Probably.
And it dawns.
I didn't even remember it. I didn't even remember I had that mace because Andre told me I did, and then I completely forgot because I never actually added it to my inventory. What was the mace called again? It's
Mace of Disruption, and I believe you attuned to it while everyone was sleeping. But since you were having trouble concentrating, I am going to give it to you that it is attuned.
Okay. Let me add this to my inventory.
I'm pretty sure I
maybe we'll have
remember
to-
telling him to attune to it.
By the way, this is going to also take my action to switch weapons.
Why is it gonna take your action?
If-
Oh, just
all you have
drop
to do
the
is drop your
sword and-
weapon
if you
and
drop
unsheath the
your
mace.
sword, you can take the mace without it taking a turn.
That is true. I can do that.
But yeah, that because minor illusion is an action cast, that's all Raimi can do this turn.
Right. So audience looks at this fight, and then he sees a minor illusion right in front of him, the image of the mace. Right. All right, next one is Fisher.
Does audience read? Oh, it's not your turn yet.
No, he goes after you.
Okay.
He rolled lowest on the initiative.
Yeah. I am going to hit one
Go ahead.
with my sword.
You have a choice.
Nope. That's an 18.
18 is not enough. You try and strike, and he just slips under your blade, sorry, as if it was just too easy for them. All right. Anything else? Move, scream, cry, sing. All right.
Nope.
Audience, it is your turn.
Alright, Audience will drop his sword and pull out the new mace that he found and run up to one of them and hit it.
All right.
Some of them have been damaged, doesn't matter for me. So. A 19.
You jump at it with your mace, and just as it tries to dodge, You strike fast enough to hit it. 19 is exactly what you need.
Oh, son of a bitch. Missed it by 1 twice. Be
I know.
serious.
And I will hit it for
I knew those good early rolls were going to bite me in the
8,
ass.
and then plus 2d6. So 8. 18. I will hit it for 18 points of damage, 10 of it radiant. Right? Yeah.
Alright. Oh, that's...
Also, does it drop below 25 HP?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then it has to succeed on a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be destroyed.
Alright, so in a Nippic motion, I don't know why, but I picture audience making a few steps, then jumping, and with the mace hitting one of those balls straight on. And you see the ball go... disappear right in front of you.
Audience is a fan of the mace. I just kind of looks at the mace for a second like, alright.
It shines. It hits.
Like-
I like it.
And Raimi got to see it all from popcorn distance.
Alright.
See, I told you that was your style.
Alright, we go back to the top of the initiative with the Will-O-Wisp. Now identifying audience as being the greatest threat here. And it tries to attack you. I don't know why. I really don't know why this keeps happening. It tries to hit you with an 18.
18 doesn't do it.
You see it focus itself right in front of you. You see the lightning bolt. You take your mace and just Jedi style. Jorg.
This time, Jorg is going to use Frostbite, which is a con save of 14.
It rolled a 13.
Woo! For 3 damage.
Oh, wow. So you look at it, you focus, and you see little blue energy form, and... Huh. Even with your 3 of damage, this feels very underwhelming.
Uh-oh.
The creature might be resistant to cold damage.
Damn.
Does have
It's a
disadvantage
Jason
on
using
its
the spear.
next attack, though.
So Jorg is using
Oh, yeah.
Spite. That's what I'm getting.
Shillelagh is the thing.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
can hit it.
But I need to be using my club for Shillelagh.
Yeah, but you're a lot better with your club than you are with the spear, aren't you?
Probably, yeah.
With Shillelagh? Because Shillelagh lets you use your wisdom, not your friggin' strength.
Yup.
Should consider
Oh,
having a
okay.
quarterstaff made for you. Alright.
I might do that.
Alright. So this was Jorg. Then we go down to Remy.
Alright, then Raimi, now seeing that audience is doing the good work that paladins do, he is going to move to... Yeah, I guess if he actually... Oh, real quick, could you update the map? Okay, yeah, thank you.
It's like magic.
Yeah, it's just like, wait a minute, I know this isn't accurate. Actually, crap. In this case, would the Wisp have cover because there are so many people in the way now?
With the what?
I'm asking if the wisp has cover now that there are just so many people in the way.
It's a flying creature, so it could be just above them. I'd say it's fairly smart. Right now, it doesn't, but you're guessing that if you do this, it will most likely go down. But for that one right now, it isn't. It is flying above Fisher and audience's head.
Okay. I just needed to make sure I wasn't going to make this unnecessarily hard on myself. Uh, then 1, 2, 3. All right, so then Rainy will move to C3 and just throw the good boy at it.
You know there's a column on C3. Are you sure?
Oh no, no, excuse me. That was my bad. I meant C4.
Okay.
I don't want to explode, so maybe that's why I didn't want to go there.
You know, the wisp can move through object, not you.
But that'll be a miss with an 8 though. So
Yeah, most likely. So you throw your dagger and Fisher, you hear. Are there bats in here?
Rainy, disappointed himself, just quietly whistles, and the good boy comes back to his hand.
Daggers are just flying all over the place.
All right, the next one is actually Fisher.
All right, I'm gonna try and friggin' get this tiny little ball. Nope. It's a 10.
Once again, you try and hit it and you see it just dodge your attack. It almost feels like it's nagging you the way it's hovering in front of you. You hear this faint humming inside the ball going. Alright, so the next one is audience.
Alright, audience will try and hit the ball. Yeah, I will also miss though. I only get 12.
Oh, for a total of?
No, 12.
Oh, 12 total, okay. Alright.
It would have been 18 if I rolled 12, which would have been more unfortunate, but no.
Alright. Full of confidence from your previous round of attacks. You just try and hit it, and then find yourself humiliated by yourself.
I mean, they're nimble creatures. I can miss this.
Yeah. You know that it doesn't look bad, but inside of you, you know you missed that one. You should have been able to predict it. Alright, so we go back to the top of the initiative with the Will-O-Wisp. Well, again, trying to attack audience with this time a 19.
I will hit.
Striking you with a 12 points of lightning damage.
Which is only 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Was I actually at 37 health? Is that where I was supposed to be?
I believe so. Alright, next one, Jorg.
Jorg, he's gonna.
Wait, did
he's
the
gonna-
Will-O-Wisp have disadvantage on that attack from frostbite?
Oh yeah.
He rolled higher. So,
Oh,
Oh.
so the first roll was the lowest actually. 19. The other one was a 21.
Jorg's gonna spirit for now.
Go ahead, try and spirit.
7. He's really bad with this spear.
Fisher again.
Just
He
You,
was just
The-
using the club back. Off
The club
floor.
with Shillelagh is better in every way than the spear.
Yeah. It's on the floor.
It has a yeah.
It's so far away, Dre.
Uh-huh.
no, but you have a feeling that Jorg is improving. You know, he's almost hitting you right now. So
Yes, me. Not the wisp.
the next one on the list is Remy.
Maybe it's just like feeling. I mean, he was starting to feel bad for himself, but then he saw Jorg try to spear it and suddenly felt better. And he's gonna throw his dagger. And I see that's a lot better. That's 19 on the die.
19 is enough to hit.
Not 19 on the die, but 19 on the dot.
Okay, on the dot, not die. All right. Oh, 19 is enough.
Like I know words.
But yeah, you do, but Remy?
Hey, he knows words too. He just can't use all of them. 14 piercing.
Okay. And it is a magical dagger, if I believe.
Yeah, it is magical.
Okay. Because it has resistance against
I hope-
non-magical.
I hope you've been calculating that for the other hit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, bonus action, whistle him back to his hand, ends his turn.
All right. Fisher, it is your turn.
I am going to knowing what the mace can do to these things. I'm going to kind of feint with my sword to the side of the wisp to try and make it dodge closer to audience and take the help action to give audience advantage on his attack.
All right. Easy enough to do. So, next one is audience. Audience, you quickly notice that by the way that Fisher is acting, he is pushing the creature closer to you.
Audience will try and take advantage of the opportunity that Fisher has provided him by taking a swing at the thing. And the advantage he applied helped because I would have missed on my first roll. But my second one is a 22.
All right. You hit.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
I will hit it for 11 damage. But does it bring it below 25?
Yes, it does.
It doesn't succeed.
The DC is?
15.
No, it rolls a total of 13.
Then it is gone.
You see it just go? The will-o-wisp is gone.
I like this mace. It's a good mace.
Yeah.
Jorg's gonna.
The only thing that's missing are dragon carvings on it.
I can get those sculpted into it. It already glows, though, for 20 feet of light in every direction.
Yeah, no, when you have it,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
dong! No, it looks epic when you have it. It's a moment worthy of a electric guitar, you know.
Well, that one didn't work either. So, either do we go with illusion? I think at this point, yeah.
I'm just here to hit little orbs, man, and make them explode. You can do whatever
Yeah.
you want with the marbles.
Yeah, I guess I'll Is everybody good to do this again, but with another one probably?
My guess is
case
there's going to be... Nah, my guess is it doubles, so my guess is it's going to be 4 of them.
Yeah. Could
I
be.
believe we have probably 2 more attempts before things get
Bad.
bad.
Yeah. Okay. I will start putting the balls back in.
Okay.
Starting with illusion.
All
Where the
right.
inscription is.
I will leave the room again. Or go to the door. Well, actually,
All right.
Which
So
is-
essentially, you all reset. So, Fisher back to B3, Jorg to F7, audience to A5.
audience will pick up his sword, though, and sheath it. So it's-
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I am going to sheath my greatsword and equip my shield.
You're done with these 19s?
Yeah.
All right.
And then I am going to, so that
So-
would be purple,
Yep.
or starting with purple, and then, just going clockwise. Pink, orange, blue, green, red, white, brown.
All right. So you place each of the marble inside, the balls inside. Place the last one. You hear, and you see all the ball falls. But this time you don't hear a near the ceiling. You hear as if someone was drawing on the wall that's just in front of you. And then suddenly you see the image becoming 3D. And then open slightly.
My God. It wasn't just a
Hey.
drawing.
Friggin' was
And
a
then-
forest
and this-
gnome.
and and this is where Raimi, completely out of character toward the fourth wall, who says like, and this, kids, is why not all puzzles are as complicated as you thought they were.
We're underground in an artificer's lab. That's not a forest gnome. 99 out of 100 times.
Audience is nodding to himself like, I knew it was a forest gnome. Always, just-
Yeah, especially audience. When you think about it, it's obvious. There's a forest a day away. You know that
whole
there are
day
gnome
It's right
villages
there.
there.
Audience also thinks to himself, but now I got to play with balls in my new mace.
Wait, did he say that out loud?
No.
all you
Nice
see,
try, baby.
all you see is audience looking at his mace and grinning.
Like, we could have maybe avoided that fight. I'm okay with it.
Like, I will catch you unawares next time.
Oh, that could have been worse. And then I will go open the door.
By the way, was I right that it doubled?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought so.
It would have been 4, then
Oh.
8, then 16.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, since 10 minutes could not have possibly passed, Raimi still has detect magic active.
Oh yeah, it basically something like 5 minutes passed while you were all doing this.
Dude, I was ready to get the 128 Will-o'-the-Wisps.
No way we would have survived
No.
past 8.
Okay, we could have maybe survived 16.
They have a challenge
No,
rating
we
of
would have
2.
died on 8.
They have a challenge rating of 2, and so far, a challenge rating of 9 has been your absolute maximum.
I
think-
missed them on an 11 or lower.
Okay. Audience could have
That's
maybe dealt
more than half the time.
Depending on how well I rolled, I could have killed 1 per round. Which would have...
And if they knock you unconscious, they can just kill you.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Alright.
8's a lot.
16 would have been probably too
Hmm.
All right. So,
Oh, looking into this doorway.
Yeah. What's in the door? You open the door. It's just the wall behind it.
damn it!
Wouldn't that be the biggest troll?
That is gnomish. That is gnomish.
Turns
No.
into a real door, but doesn't change the wall.
Damn, that's the end of it? That's anticlimactic. Alright, so you push the door, you start moving in, trying to find something. Good lord, why is it always so difficult finding exactly what you want? Well, I guess it's not gonna matter much because we're almost over for tonight. Alright, so you push the door and they open very gently. You make your way inside of this new room, this square room. Oddly enough, as you enter this room, well, actually, do you enter it or do you just push the door open and take a peek through them? It's a double door, so you have roughly 10 feet.
At the very
I'll
least,
walk in a
Raimi
little bit.
has entered and is looking around with his special eyes.
Yeah. All the other traps, they've had a landing first. So,
Very
I'm
courteous.
sure we'll walk in a little bit.
Right. So, you all enter the room. This first tile and ground looks like a very large square room. You have 4 pillars again, but this time there's a wider space between them. Right in front of you, you see another set of double door, roughly another 40 feet away. However, what's different in this one is that there is a very beautiful, large statue. And the doors are between its leg. It looks like a giant armor. Immobile for now. Just patiently
I love
there.
your use of words for now.
Well, I can't let you become too at ease entering a new room. Things have been jumping at you since you've entered this place. I mean, I have to keep the atmosphere. So you enter this room and you see this giant carving that is just above the door with its 2 legs going on each side of the door. And the room is surprisingly tall. You'd guess at least 15 or 20 feet high. Other than that, it's completely silent. You don't see any bodies. The floor is a little bit dusty, but there doesn't seem to be any arrowheads on the floor. And just like a lot of the other rooms, with the exception of the corridors, you don't know where the light is coming from, but it is dimly lit everywhere.
Is either the door or the large armor giving off any magic vibes? Or is anything in the room giving off magic vibes?
Also, is
Yeah.
the armor standing over the door we just came through, or another
No, the
door?
one in front of you.
Okay.
I want you to picture Gangnam Style.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think that's it. I think we're done. I think it's time to stop.
What do you mean? Do you have a problem with this? Hold on. I'm looking for something I Was
To be
hoping.
fair, you're not actually wrong in this one. 28. Also,
No, I really mean it's only a few minutes before we end this one. Don't worry. I was just looking for an information that I kept right beside me, and I don't know why it doesn't want to come up anymore. Ah, there it is. Good lord. Okay.
Dramatic pause.
So, the large statue on its own, like this, you look at it and no, it doesn't emanate any magic on its own. It just looks like a very beautifully carved statue. Probably something of a warrior, wearing, you'd guess, something like a half plate, something like that. It is very tall, though. You're also looking everywhere in the room, and you sort of see why there is light everywhere. It's more like a spell akin to dancing light than the light spell itself. But they are on the ceiling, which is why the entire room is dimly lit. But other than that, and the fact that when you look at the door, since you're all right there at the beginning, the door does feel magical on the other side. Meaning that when you look at it, there was probably a spell blocking the perception. This is why you could only see some sort of sparkle all around it. If you want to have more, make a perception roll.
Rami will gladly perceive the room.
And
It's a little
get that
too empty.
+4 guided.
Remy, you have received guidance. As Jard looks at you, squinting, and says, "Oh, gods, here you go."
Here. I'm not gonna help you look, but I'll make it easier.
I'll help you
Or
look.
did you already roll the d4, or do I roll the d4? I actually
You roll
don't
the
know.
d4.
You roll it.
Okay. All right, then.
Because you
I
have
guess if
D4s.
Fisher is helping me, I'll go ahead and take it. Fisher actually definitely helped. I mean, not like a huge difference, but
Okay.
like there was like a
Way to
6-point
downplay
difference.
it.
So it's like it's a 6-point difference. So it depends on your perspective.
Oh,
So in total, that's going to be a 28.
28.
Fisher got me a 19 instead of a 13
Okay.
on the die.
So you look around, you look at the floor, look at everything. You don't see anything more magical. However, you do see a very faint set of footprint in the dust, going straight from the door where you are to the door in front. Judging by the size of these feet, it's most likely human size.
Oh. That's interesting. Randy points this out. Points to the faint outline.
It's really hard to see, but because Remy rolled so high, he can just basically kneel down and he just makes a square in the dust on the ground around the footprint.
And they're human size?
Yeah.
Weird.
So meaning it's most likely human, half elf, half orc, maybe an orc wearing boots.
Do they go anywhere?
They go straight to the door,
the door.
that is on the other side of the room.
Well, as an attempt at precaution, Rami is going to be step up to about 30 feet away from the door,
Okay.
and then 5 feet to the right,
Okay.
and he's going to see if his mage hand can open the door.
All right. So, Remy, you do this. Audience, Fisher, and Jorg, what do you do as you see Remy starting to walk inside the room and do his own stuff?
Jorg's gonna.
Watch carefully.
Yeah. He's gonna be just behind.
Yeah, audience will just watch.
All right. So basically, you just enter like.
Actually, no. I will use another divine sense.
Okay.
And there is still a mimic somewhere, but not that I think it would have gotten here. But
I don't know why, but like I said, I keep forgetting all of the details of divine sense. All right.
and then after
On 50 feet.
60. It's a 60-foot radius.
Okay. Okay. For a brief moment, coming from... No, actually. You open your sense, and of course, you feel the undeath that was in the room before. And it's just a very faint impression of something evil on the other side of the door, which your sense can't actually penetrate the door, meaning the door is most likely not completely closed.
Okay. I will... Is Remy going up to still try and open it?
He just started to
Okay.
move
I'm
inside.
gonna put my hand on Remy and whisper down and be like, careful, there's something evil on the other side of that door, and I don't think it's fully closed.
The Raimi will nod, although thankfully that doesn't really change the behavior he was about to do. Still 30 feet away from the door, but also 5 feet to the right, and seeing if he can mage hand push the door open.
All right.
Which I guess apparently to everyone else the door is going to open by itself if it's successful. So I'm not sure if that'll worry them.
Fisher and Jorg?
Jorg is unsuccessfully hiding behind.
One of the pillars?
Fisher.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fisher or
Alright,
audience.
so Remy moves
he's
inside.
not technically alive, so
Audience is gonna use 10 points of lay on hands and heal himself up.
All right.
Back a bit.
So Remy moves inside, going 30 feet up, almost all the way there. Fisher.
Oh no! I'll make this very clear. He is 30 feet away from the door.
So you just moved 10 feet inside the room. All right.
Yeah, I moved 10 feet, then 5 feet off to the right.
Okay.
Because Mage Hand has a range of 30 feet.
Okay. So basically, I think you're just beside one of the pillars of this room. Yeah, basically, you're right next to one of the pillars of the room.
Okay.
Fisher, you said usually there's a landing, so you're inside the room. Jorg, you're trying to hide behind Fisher, so you're inside the room also. Audience, well, you want to do detect inside the room, so I guess you're inside.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, I'll take my shield off.
All right. So as you see Remy move to the side, concentrate for his hand. Everyone is inside. You hear sound coming from right behind you, like rocks rumbling and something writing on the wall again. You all dart to see what's behind you, and you see the door erasing itself behind you as you all enter the room. And then you hear... You all look up, and the huge carving has just made one step inside the room. This is where we're going to end this stream. I'm not going to make you do a fight 8 minutes after the end of the stream. The carving is large. It looks like it's wearing a half plate. And it is making its way toward you. Looking menacingly.
Well, aren't I feeling glad I decided to be 30 feet away from that?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, this is going to be maybe a big fight, maybe not. So...
Sounds like a big fight.
I mean, he said the door on the other side was still open. We could just run to the door and see if we can stop whatever's controlling it. But whatever.
You're gonna know in the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Alright. So, thank you very much for being here tonight, for watching us. I hope you had fun. I hope everyone also in the party had fun. There was certainly a bit more variety, a little bit of combat, a little bit of puzzle making, a little bit of being proud of having a new mace and playing with balls.
Yeah, I'm just so glad. I'm just so glad that we found an immediate use for that mace. It's just like, because like there was part of me that just wanted to like, I don't want to burn my action on this, but also I don't want to make audience roll an intelligence roll.
There's always that.
Oh,
Does
alright.
Sam know?
Well, no, it doesn't
Does
matter.
he
if
think
Sam
audience
knows.
would
It doesn't
know?
matter
I
if Sam
definitely-
knows because the
I-
audience might not think of it.
I definitely didn't know because I didn't remember that you told me that you'd given me the maze.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Pepperidge
I
Farm.
specifically told you when we were talking after the next day.
alright, so
I remember the same conversation. I can back that up.
No, I talked to him again when he was sober and caught him
Oh,
up in the
right,
episode
right,
and was
right.
like, "You have the mace and you've attuned
yeah,
to
the
it."
mace of power now. Alright, so thank you very much for watching. Like I said, I hope you had an enjoyable evening or whatever part of the day it is for you. As always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Remember, if we reach 50 followers, we can finally activate subscriptions. I don't know why you would, but it would help immensely for me. Of course, you can always support the stream by making a donation or becoming a Patreon. All of the links are right below if you're watching this live or on video on Twitch. And if it's on YouTube, everything is in the space right below the window. You have all the links there. And of course, you can always help us by simply spreading a word of this channel, of how fun it is to watch us or to laugh at us or whatever other reasons you might have.
Be both.
Could be both. Sometimes you laugh at what we're doing. Sometimes you laugh at us doing these things. It's good. We accept it. We don't mind. At least I don't. So, thank you very much for watching. And as always, take care of yourself. Stay safe. And especially in these weird times, stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.